Happy No Comic Book Day, geeks, and welcome back to the Script Heroes podcast. We are coming to you on this fine Saturday with a bonus episode tying into our Wednesday's Creator Corner, where we talked all about character design. We are going to design a superhero and a story here in 30 minutes, live on the, well, not live, but
No.
in time,
Not
together
live, but
here.
yeah.
Not live, but in time.
Yeah.
This is Jay's little brain baby here. Jay, you want to tell us how this is gonna work?
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna have, I don't remember if you said 30 minutes or not yet, but it's on the screen. People can probably see it unless they're listening to the audio version. We're gonna have 30 minutes to kind of put this together and kind of to simulate the way that this will go, unless you're doing a create your own book or something, is the idea is to kind of replicate a publisher assigning us like, we want a character with, this sort of power set or whatever. So we have two generators. We have a random superpower generator, and we're going to decide very soon here how many powers we want to give our lad. And then we have a random job generator to kind of give us the civilian identity side of it. And then from there, we're going to try to build out the story and the character, and we might even go back for a second set of gens to do a villain at some point, depending on how efficiently we're doing it.
We'll see how quickly we get through the hero.
Yeah. But if at any point during this you are interested in kind of the way that me and Katie approach things or anything like that, again, Katie mentioned we talked about creating characters on this past Wednesday's episode. So if you want kind of the tools or a more like educational type video, you can find that in the Creator Corner there. This is just going to be us doing it, and I don't know if we're going to be helpful with anything along the way. But yeah,
more
I don't know.
More live demonstration than a breakdown of why we're doing what we're doing.
Exactly. Do you want to go straight into it?
I think we should jump straight into it.
Would you rather do the civilian identity?
And I think we should start with one superpower, but I think it'd be fun to do our civilian identity first. So we know why our,
Okay. All right. The last thing I generated when I was testing this out was an herbalist. So they've got some fun ones in here. So we'll see how this goes. All right.
And I think we should agree now, no rerolls.
Firefighter. No rerolls.
Oh.
A firefighter. I've actually done a firefighter before.
Firefighter is like absolutely good grounds for superheroing.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I feel like there's powers that will work really well into doing something with a lot of synergy here, and there's powers that are going to feel maybe a little weird. So,
well, I mean, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where if it's a power that matches, he became a firefighter because he had these powers.
Yeah.
But if it's a power that doesn't match, maybe they were not a super powered person, and then
I'm just like my brain is like, don't give us like because I don't know, man. I'm thinking firefighter. I'm thinking of like more of a like kind of a burly, somebody like that. If we get like super speed or something, that's gonna be a little weird. I don't know. Feels a little weird. So I'm hoping no super speed.
Ideas though.
Okay, I'm hoping no super speed. Let's randomize it.
Electromagnetism. All right.
So Magneto.
Yep.
We got Magneto powers. Okay. So now we're gonna get fully in here.
We're gonna switch back before I can autocorrect because I don't know how to spell.
I love that.
All right, so this is our prompt here. I think we hit start on 30 minutes and then start talking.
I agree. Okay. I think.
All right, so I think one thing we're gonna need is a name.
We're gonna need a name, absolutely. I kind of want to start weirdly with like how he's gonna get these powers, because I think that's gonna he or she. I don't want to, but I'm thinking like electromagnetism manipulation is making me think like some sort of a electrical or like something like while they're in a building that's like coming down from like something's gonna happen. That's
absolutely
gonna jolt on these powers.
Or like we could even have like a fire axe to a breaker box or something.
Yeah, that's a classic visual right there. Gotta love a classic visual.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So we have kind of a general idea here that the origin's gonna be once they are already a firefighter. So already firefighter, like some sort of
job
I guess disaster
accident.
Yeah, job
accident. Accident
Great.
is, yeah.
Accident's a great word. Okay. So let's hit gender, because I think that's super important to like inform everything else. So firefighter immediately makes me go to my father.
Is big and burly.
Yeah.
And that immediately makes me think subvert it by having a big burly woman. But I am just biased towards big burly women.
I mean, we could definitely go in that direction. The electromagnetism manipulation. I'm just gonna say magnet powers from now on. Magnet powers are definitely a little bit weird of a visual for an extremely burly person. You know, like it's not
A little bit, yeah.
fully synergistic power to look there.
Because it's like kind of a mind power as opposed to a physical body.
Yeah, I feel like magnetism, you typically get somebody like even Magneto. Magneto's not like slim, but he's not like built.
No, but he uses his powers hovering in the air with his arms crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't really lend itself. I don't think, unless actually the first thing I'm going to think is that main weapon here, an axe that they can recall back to themselves like constantly because magnetism.
I love that, and I would like to throw in with that some sort of like over the arms exoskeleton thing that gives them super strength by like manipulating the metal of this exoskeleton.
I'm liking it. I think we could build that into kind of like a firefighter type out. Like I think I'm leaning into incorporating the firefighter aesthetic with the actual hero identity as well.
Yes, I'm gonna drop some. You keep talking. I'm gonna drop some firefighter uniforms into the dock.
Okay, great, awesome. Yeah, if you want to handle like grabbing images and stuff, so that I don't have to unfull screen here, that'll be fantastic. Okay,
so I'm thinking that we don't I don't think we should lean into the kind of psychic version of magnet powers. I think that we should figure out something that does lean into the physical strength side of magnet powers.
I'm gonna I'm gonna throw two things out here. First, I kind of want Chief to be part of the name, the hero name. I feel like that could be cool.
I'm not super against that. I'm not immediately inspired by it, but
I'm just gonna put it there. We can absolutely remove it.
Yeah, put it there.
And the second thing is, magnetism can be a very OP power. So I'm thinking maybe we kind of do a built-in limitation here of like if we're doing it in an accident, I think it could be easy to be like it's limited. Essentially, like my mind is like almost literal magnets in their hands. Just like extremely powerful
they
magnets.
Have a specific polarity, essentially.
Yeah, like they can't just like move something from across the room like upward. You know, like they have to kind of pull it to themselves, or they can like reverse and push. Yeah, push or pull. Like I think that's a nice. Why don't they just immediately destroy everything easily? Like explanation. So how you feeling about that for the?
I like that a lot as like the mechanic of the powers.
Cool.
So yeah, they essentially have their own polarity here, and I think that could very much work with their axe as well, if they're like essentially attuned to their axe. Because I guess then there's the question of how do they control their powers? Like if they do a pull from right here,
I think the idea is that they can change
cone?
the like they control the strength of their magnet. So like that's how it goes from push to pull, because they can like change the amount of play. I don't know, comic book science.
But like if say we've got like a mountain of, I don't know, just a mountain of nails, and there's one screw within that mountain of nails. Are they able to remove that one screw, or is it just that whole mountain of nails is coming?
That's a good question. I kind of want to say at least early on. Like I feel like this could be like developing. I feel like beginning origin of this character, first couple issues, whatever we're talking about here. No, they cannot use it that specifically. Would be my pitch. But
I get that, but I guess then the question that does kind of limit us very much so in the start there.
It does.
Because also I feel like we've both kind of defaulted to gendered pronouns. Want to just slap a he him on this boy?
Yeah. I feel like I had started saying that, like that's why I put the there. So we're gonna have I guess I guess the age is gonna be the next thing. So I'm gonna throw an age in here, or like age range.
If you want
because
chief to be in the name as a factor of like they are a fire chief, I think they have to be older. But I think with
that's my father was a
when
fire chief at like
getting
20.
really,
Yeah, most people don't stay firefighters that late into life.
I guess I don't know many firefighters.
Yeah, like at least like late 20s, early 30s. Like I don't think fire chief is like a in your 40s type
Mhm.
role. Maybe in like a paid area, because a lot of places. I guess that's the other question: is this like pure firefighter, or a lot of like in modern times, firefighter is more of like a extracurricular
Side hustle.
than like a full. Yeah, because like they don't pay a lot of firefighters.
I think full firefighter should
Okay,
be the
we're going
move
full.
because
cool.
then you also get the built-in like I don't know excuse of like a job with weird hours, so you can get away with a lot of like kind of vigilante shit.
Well, yeah, because like I guess they are, but like a lot of the time I think they're like on call. So like if as long as there's not an active fire breaking out, like Lad could go and do things
Exactly,
without
yeah.
people knowing. Yeah, I like that. All right,
Exactly.
so yeah, I'm thinking we're not going burly man. I think we kind of talked about, because he's gonna have this exosuit, which I think would look kind of weird if he was like a big burly man.
I will say I think the exosuit should be what gives him essentially super strength as like a bonus power, but it's not because he has super strength. It's because he has this exoskeleton.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm gonna, like while he shouldn't be like Rob Liefeld burly man, I think that we can still go with like he is a kind of big and strong, like strapping guy.
Oh well, yeah, he's got to be, because like firefighter's gonna kind of inspire from like decently in shape man here. I'm gonna pitch 30s. I think for age, I'm gonna pitch 30s.
I'm not against 30s, though. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of new powers for adults, like full adult person, because it's like, oh, you got these new powers in your 30s, suddenly there's a lot more judgment for how they learn how to use them and how they like adapt to them. It's like you're an adult, you should handle this better.
Because everybody's actually, quick question here. Gonna throw this out so that we can build out world before we get to hopefully a story, and we kind of hit the last couple things here on the character. Are we doing world where heroes exist, or like world where heroes don't exist? Because that is very important to like how
I think world where heroes don't exist, or superheroes don't exist, but like comic books do.
Okay. So
where like
in that case, I feel like
how in like some zombie media, it's like, what is a zombie? But in other zombie media, it's like, oh shit, that's a zombie.
Yeah.
I think a world where like there are comic book superheroes, so he's like, oh shit, I'm like Superman, as opposed to
okay.
I have no frame of reference for what a superhero is.
Gotcha.
I will throw out to kind of bridge our gap. What if in the same fire where he got his powers, the then chief died or something, and so he is now the chief. That. But we get that kind of like,
and we can have him have gone back in to like save somebody or something. So like it's like he was the one who saved the day or whatever, even though the old chief died, so he becomes the chief. I like that. That's cool. I want to hit one more question here because it feels important to his job and how it's going to fit the story. Are we thinking big city, or are we thinking kind of a more like
I think big city.
We got big city. Okay, so we got a big city firefighter.
I like a good big city
chief
now.
We'll stick him maybe then, especially with the origin. If we're going kind of like hero firefighter becomes chief, like late 20s, I think could fit that.
I agree.
If you want to make him a bit younger, so we'll go late 20s here. We said we weren't going to be teaching, but teaching moment, you don't need exact ages for comic book characters. You can give a vibe.
Yeah.
Build. We said he's going to be kind
human,
of athletic,
but big.
Right? Not like human.
He's human, but he's human but big. I'm glad that stuck. All right, now Joseph Jasonowski, your favorite thing in the world.
Yes.
We need a like real life name.
We need a name
for this boy.
We need a name. I'm gonna throw out Ken. I'm gonna throw out Ken.
I thought you were gonna have something.
I threw out Ken.
Hate that.
I threw out Ken. Okay,
I
you throw one
immediately
out.
dislike that.
You throw out
Okay,
one.
okay, I will. I am going to throw out oh no, it's so much harder.
So
A
much
name
pressure.
for a big strapping fireman. What about Chase? That feels like a
Chase.
Chad name.
I don't hate Chase. It's not my favorite. I don't hate it though. I could
We could
see
also
Chase.
throw Chase as a last name.
Oh, I kind of like Chase as the last name. I'm gonna throw out my brain can't get past Adrian Chase now that you've said Chase.
I don't know how I feel about Adrian as a name.
No, that's Vigilante's name. That's why.
I am aware of that, but I was
okay.
dissuading you away from the name Adrian in general.
No, that was just like because you've given the last name of a comic book character. Like my mind is stuck there now.
Okay, let's see. Someone Chase. Do we want to?
He needs to be a longer
hit
name.
him with the Stan Lee alliteration?
Not if his superhero's name's gonna have Chief. Like I'd rather do the alliteration with like Chief something.
I forgot his superhero name. So he is Chief Chase. I do love that.
yeah, he'll be Chief Chase. So I think it needs to be multiple syllables. I think one syllable last name typically doesn't end up sounding good, or at least not distinctive. So I think we need a multiple syllable first name here.
Agreed. For some reason, the name that has come to mind for me is Cyrus, but I kind of hate Cyrus. That's such like a villain.
I'm gonna throw out Matthew. Matthew Chase is a like kind of general name. I don't hate Matthew Chase.
It's certainly a general name, but it's also like very generic in how general.
I know a lot of the first names end up feeling generic unless you do something that's like super distinctive or weird. So I'm trying to like land on something here.
What about Philip?
I don't love the way that pairs with Chase. I'm not gonna lie.
Philip Chase fair.
Doesn't really like flow super nice to me.
Okay.
Leonard Chase.
The Philip Chase is out there. Leonard.
Sorry, Leonard. Yeah, Leonard.
Leonard. No.
Leonard.
Sorry to the Leonards out there.
Katie just laughed at you if your name is Leonard. I found that to be clear.
Okay, you know what? Let's place Phil Chase right now.
Yeah.
And we'll wait for inspiration to come.
Names are tough. Names are tough. Okay, let's get a superhero name.
Names
whether or not it involves Chief. Let's get a superhero name.
We could have something involving like polarity. Look for fireman vocab. Okay.
Magnetism's lame.
Let's see. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Enchanted Learning, for a firefighting vocabulary word list. Something alarm. Like a fire alarm.
Either I'm gonna like make a slash of not like maybe something fire or flame. Don't love badge. I maybe love flame being in there. Like can we pair a fire word with a magnet word? Like a literal fire, not like fireman. Like can we name like a literal fire
of magnets
with magnets with a magnet word? Like
attraction,
flame
repulsion, poles. Fire pole.
No. The name stuff ends up being the hardest, apparently, is what we are learning. Joseph is correct in his hate for naming.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I feel like repulse, if we could get something in there, could work.
I don't know if we're even gonna have time to get like it might be because we need to do a costume too. Like that's very important for superhero design. We're gonna have to do a costume. So that's gonna be I think our next kind of hit. So let's get a name and then we'll build the costume out of the name, and that might be as much as we can actually really get done. Shit. Okay.
We could do like compulsion. It's like close to compulsion, but like combustion and repulsion.
I don't think a pun is typically a good superhero name.
I'm slamming words together here, not going for specifically puns.
I'm gonna delete these things because they're leading me in directions. Like, what's a cool superhero name for like maybe we should go with like costume for like is he gonna be dressed kind of fireman?
We could go with like the Extinguisher. like a fire extinguisher.
I don't hate that. It doesn't really play into his powers much, but if we're giving him a fireman vibe, I don't mind the extinguisher. I don't mind that. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it works.
Let's throw the extinguisher in.
We'll throw the extinguisher. Yeah. Oh no, this is how people learn that I can't spell. You do it, Katie.
Oh no, I can't spell either. Sure. Okay, I type out at the end, but otherwise spelled it right.
Nice. I don't know why the I felt so wrong when I put in the I. I was like, that is not how a word should look.
I felt so wrong when you put in a Q. So I think that we really need to hit costume and how that specifically works with his powers.
All right. Well, an extinguisher
like
now
I don't think we should go with like I don't think we should go with like the full kind of bulky suit because I feel like that's not a particularly
no, something kind of like
heroic thing, but we could do something with like those yellow bands for sure.
I don't know. Yellow bands are kind of ugly.
Let's see.
Fire axe. I'm gonna throw an S in there because maybe he is 2 or more.
Oh, we could go with one of these like kind of navy jumpsuit style ones instead.
I think that's more of the vibe that I usually have rather than yellow lines, but
I am concerned because the image I'm pulling this from is a Halloween costume, but you know, Halloween costumes are like shorthand.
Listen, it doesn't like people's visuals, especially for like comic book, isn't always gonna be like what
for sure
something actually
so,
looks like.
We could have him go a little like tactical with this.
Okay.
So like it's kind of the navy base. He'll have like chunky boots as well. I think the suspenders are big fireman vibe. Ditch the helmet for sure.
Do we want to
even do like a little inverse on the helmet? We could do like kind of the where did it go? One sec. The kind of like respirator thing, but like make it black and reflective. And then we could show cool fire effects in that reflection.
The interesting thing here is so I guess this is the question, and maybe way too late in the process to be asking this question, but based on the costume vibe that we seem to be leaning into, I think is going to lend itself to a more serious story versus a more fun story. So
I think that's certainly been the vibe from the start.
Then I think the extinguisher name needs to go. Because I think that name only is going to fit a more like fun superhero type comic. I don't think the extinguisher is going to convey like serious vigilante.
I'm gonna look up synonyms
not to, like,
for extinguisher.
Kill the name as we've like just hit it, but like that's where
no, it was still sort of a
no, super fair. Tactical.
I'm looking up synonyms for extinguish.
Firefighter-esque. Jumpsuit. No yellow lines.
Do you have the suspenders in there? Because I feel like that's very like classic firefighter.
Black suspenders and
I don't know how it would work, but
what do you call?
I am thinking there could be a way to
like,
go suspender.
What do you call like the straps? I think there should be straps incorporated. You know, so some straps that can kind of go from the suspenders to his, like maybe his extinguisher and stuff. I like straps. You feel free to disagree, but I'm just
and then he'll have his kind of exoskeleton thing going on
with it, and then we respirator mask, no helmet. Is that all of the kind of points we've hit on so far? I think so. For the costume.
He should have thick ass gloves.
Thick ass gloves. Gloves for hands.
Because then I'm thinking we have kind of a look of like very bulky feet, bulky hands, and kind of like the contrasting that with the kind of like bigger fireman pants with the suspenders, and then more of like a t-shirt action for his top. Let's see.
trying to.
Types of.
What do you think about Christian Chase? If you want the alliteration,
That works. And I think that people should call him Chris, though.
that's fair.
Trying to look up different like types of fires in hopes that there's like cool names in there.
Oh, the fire marshal. No, that's so lame. That's even more like goofy than extinguisher. Oh, we're still we're still on like an exoskeleton, right? Skeleton armor.
Yes. Because that's going to give him his essentially
Powers.
super strength.
Yeah.
Let's see. Literally scrolling through like the Illinois State Fire Code right now, looking for cool vocab words. Let's see. I'm still not against alarm being a part of his name.
That just also feels goofy to me. Like I know the firefighter like theme is gonna feel goofy kind of in general, but I don't know. Like alarm.
I mean,
feels a bit goofy.
let's see.
I don't know. We have 7 minutes.
We do.
Do we want to give him like a logo or something for the suit? Something like definable or like.
I don't know that that'll fit in with our less kitschy firefighter. Like if we're not going to call him the extinguisher, I feel like having a logo would kind of
That's
be
fair.
rough.
I'm just trying to think of like.
Ooh, he could wear like.
I guess it's the axe. What? Yeah.
We could make a cool icon of like if he wears some sort of if he got a lot of his supplies for this from like vintage fire supplies, and he's like got like the old logo of the city's fire department on there.
Ooh, I don't mind that. We could definitely do a thing where like they're throwing away old gear and they assume somebody like stole it, but it was just him like not throwing it away or something like that.
It could also very much be like he is the chief now. He has access to these storerooms and stuff.
That's fair. That's fair.
What if we called him Ferro? Ferro. That is the type of material that can be attracted to magnets. Ferromagnetic is the term.
I guess my question for that is, I like it as a name. Twofold. One, is it not just going to make everybody think Egyptian? And two,
well, it's spelled Ferro.
How is he getting that name then? Like, it feels much easier for him to get a firefighter type name for people to like see him and call him that, because it's like firefighter aesthetic. Like having a name that's going to do with electromagnetism, I think is going to be, especially something like that, a little bit harder to explain. Because especially if we're taking it more seriously, like again, it's the difference of if we were doing something more fun and goofy, like he could announce his name, but if we're doing like a more serious vigilante thing, there's like
my thought would be if
probably like the paper's naming him, Not
it
really
could be that one of the first people that he encounters, or like a journalist who has the gumption to talk to him and then name him, he could say like, well, I control ferromagnetic metal.
That is so like you want so he's gonna do an interview, he's gonna say that, and then he's gonna get named. Like that is so many levels of, I think, either goofy or like odd.
I mean,
like, why is he doing an
that
interview?
The contrast would be him explaining it as he understands it, as kind of a no-nonsense guy, and then the journalist like sensationalizing from it.
I don't know. I don't think it works. We are down to 4 minutes though.
I was gonna say we have 4 minutes, so you better think of something that works quick then.
You're the one sitting there with all your fucking, words, and your like synonyms and Google. I can't use Google right now. I'm on this screen.
Okay, let's see. Ferromagnetic metals. Let's see. So many of these are just examples of the materials.
What's
we
a
could
word
do
for like I
flux.
guess
Because
flux?
flux is like something you can use to create a fire, right? And flux is also a part
Is it?
of like the magnet. Isn't flux a type of fire thing?
I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
I genuinely don't know.
I will also say I
don't-
wouldn't be terribly concerned with how he gets like the official name. I think that there's 1,001 ways that that can come up, even if it's like, oh, he lives in Pharaoh City, so they call him Pharaoh.
I'm gonna throw out the last thing, which is book. If we're doing book title, name needs to like get across the point of the character very quickly, which the Extinguisher does. If we're I would do like here's I'll throw out this pitch because we're low on time.
Mhm.
Book title, the Extinguisher. We call him the Extinguisher. Is never named in the book anything, aside from like the vigilante or the firefighter shows up or whatever. I like that better than giving him a name that's like not going to make sense.
I mean, I think that you can very much hand wave a name that the character didn't pick. If it's like, oh, they've started calling him, we could even have it be that they've started calling him the Extinguisher, and we could just treat it seriously.
I guess so. Okay, we don't really have much more time for this, so let's did we want to try to 2-minute quick like what the general idea of the story would be, or like what a vibe of a story would be?
I
like,
think
what,
that the classic thing would be that whoever started the fire that gave him the powers is like a serial arsonist or something for sinister purposes. Like it could even be that he's like setting fire to these tech advancement firms and whatnot, which is why the electric box that he ends up hitting with his axe is so like super powered essentially. And so he's going after this guy. I think that it is a good twist to be like, oh, turns out the electronic firm people are also bad. So this guy's doing like active evil things.
No,
so he needs to be stopped.
Way too much of nowadays of villain has a good point but goes too far. You know, going after.
I mean, I was more saying for legs for the story. It's like, oh, the firm is acting like his friend, and like it's like, oh, you were exposed to our electrosis, and we would like to help you with this.
I mean,
though that is beyond a volume 1. So if we're looking at a volume 1 or a 1-issue thing, going after the guy who is like attacking tech companies fully
it just feels like a concept that you could fully just do in like a one-shot or even in like an anthology to like introduce the concept and then you could do more whatever. So I'm gonna
I think going after this arsonist attacking tech firms,
and then are we cool? Is there anything else we want to add to the doc? We got 15 seconds, Katie.
Oh geez. I just wish we came up with a better name.
Me too, but that's fine. Once revenge for old youth. There. Okay, yes. That's 2. Hands off.
We did it. Hands off. That was designing a hero and a story in 30 minutes based off of random prompts.
Yeah, just because for listeners, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So they can hear everything. Yes. Yeah. I'll. Do you want to start with the like powers?
Yeah. So as a reminder, the powers that our hero has, the powers are electromagnetism manipulation, and the secret identity is a firefighter. We expanded on those powers to specify that it is a push and pull from his personal magnetic field, which he does use in special consort with his fire axe to kind of recall it, as well as with a magnetic exoskeleton that essentially gives him super strength. What else we got?
Yeah, okay, so we've decided that he is a man named Christian Chase. His superhero identity, which we were not super happy with what we landed on, but it's the Extinguisher. He is in his late 20s. who he's been a firefighter for a while when he gets the accident that gives him his powers, which is kind of a job accident at a tech firm. And he's going to be an athletically built, kind of larger man. Katie, do you want to hit the costume?
Yeah. His costume is going to be inspired by firefighter stuff, mixing in kind of modern, kind of tactical vibes, as well as some vintage iconography from firefighter stuff. So it's going to be navy with dark black and stuff. He'll have the suspenders that you think of with the firefighter pants, as well as some tactical straps. He'll have a respirator mask that's blacked out so you can't see his face. No helmet, though. He's going to have thick ass gloves for his hands, not his ass. I didn't read that joke yet. Good one, buddy. So yeah, thick ass gloves and kind of big chunky boots to feel that kind of like heavy firefighter presence, as well as the exoskeleton armor. And we didn't get into the doc, but his emblem, his logo, essentially, is going to be something from like the vintage firefighting from his station.
That's my bad.
That's my bad.
Yeah, and he's gonna have a fire extinguisher and fire axes. Yeah. And the story is gonna be that there's an arsonist villain who's the one who killed the old fire chief, kind of going after tech firms, and he wants revenge. And not he, our guy wants revenge. Chris, whatever, wants revenge for the old chief. So he's going to try to stop this arsonist, and that's our little plot for what we've decided is most likely going to be a one-shot to kind of kick off this character.
Hell yeah. 30 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Clean and simple. That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun. Let us know how you enjoyed this episode. Would you like more things like seeing our creative process? We've talked about potentially doing a video where we throw what we've done to a couple artists, and kind of see how then the next step of the process would work.
Exactly, which would also include us figuring out how to translate this to something to give to an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, let us know in the comments, and like this video, and yeah. What do we have coming up? We have our main episode coming up on Wednesday. If you feel inspired
by the extinguisher, draw him and tag us.
Yeah. You could absolutely do that. But yeah, we have our main episode coming up on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. And we had our episode this past week where we talked more about character design. But I think that's going to be all for today. So until next time, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Comic
Geeks.